Hi, I'm Tim Parry from Multichannel Merchant, and I'm with Reid Greenberg of 7th Generation. We're at IRWE 2013, and I'm going to ask Reid a few questions about 7th Generation and some of his views on web design and some web trends. Reid, building an e-commerce community is not easy. How has 7th Generation been able to get his community so involved and become an actual part of the site?
Great question, and I think when we talk about our web platform, our property, it's not really just, the importance is not really the e-commerce piece of it. That's only a small part of the overall digital ecosystem that we've created. It's really, we've got a brand engagement platform that's more about how do we create digital advocacy, how do we drive word of mouth behavior, how do we really bring consumers in and want them to interact with us. And eventually, of course, we want them to buy from us, but we also point them to our great online customers, our brick and mortar customers as well. So for us, it's really about creating that content that resonates best with the consumers. So we certainly take advantage of social media, I should say, Facebook, for example, and we tend to leverage that platform the most for kind of real marketing, real engagement marketing, where we can have communication, one-way communication with our consumers, and actually then bring them to the site, and then they dive deeper into that content that we've just talked about on Facebook. So it's really for us to kind of show them the way, and then bring them to the site where they talk about where they can actually bring that conversation to our site, and then bring that back to Facebook where they can continue that conversation with us on a one-on-one format, or one with many, I should say.
One of the social media that seems to be big on your homepage is Instagram. How important is Instagram to your overall branding strategy?
Instagram is less important than, or I should say it gets less attention from us right now than Facebook and Twitter and even Pinterest. I think for us in priority it's Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter, sometimes Twitter more. And Instagram is really interesting for us. We're still trying to figure out what the best role it has for us. And yes, you see the Instagram photos right on our homepage. But what we're finding is that Instagram is really trending toward a younger demographic, really actually a 12-year-old demographic of girls, and it's not necessarily the place that we want to be, but we're finding that some of the great brands like Patagonia are doing really well with Instagram, where it's a great way for us to, and for them to really have exceptional pictures, real pictures of their people in the organization, of people who are surfing incredibly well. So for us, it's really trying to figure out what that strategy is, and I think it's more about not so much product shots, but more about what makes us live and breathe as an organization, and that's an area that we need to spend a little bit more time. And it's really it's just a real small micro conversation that we can have, and so we're trying to get consumers to share their Instagram photos with us and vice versa.
Now, real-time marketing seems to be on the rise. Is that something you're thinking about getting into with 7th Generation, since you're across a lot of different platforms and also you're on the store shelves, you're direct to customer? Is real-time marketing something that makes sense?
Real-time marketing is interesting, and we're just seeing the real tip of the iceberg of the potential that's going to have. And I think with real-time marketing, it's an area that we want to dive into deeply, but it's again at scale, and we don't quite have the internal structure and support staff available for us to do really big real-time marketing. But in the example of Super Bowl, Oreo cookie, dunking in the dark, that's the type of stuff that we can do. I'm certainly not going to ask my staff to show up on a Sunday night and work and tweet, but there are some great things happening within our NGO partners, Healthy Child, Healthy World, Breast Cancer Fund, that real-time events that are taking place, and let's help build content and create content around those events to drive awareness and drive consumer advocacy. So yes, something that we're looking at, something that we should be doing more of, but we want to make sure we do it right and we have the appropriate resources to be able to staff that.
Great. Reid, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome, Tim. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.